What's poppin'? You clicked. I see it. I know you clicked. Meet Your Maker. It's a game. I'm playing it a lot, so I decided to make a video, because I like it. So, let's get into it. What even is it? What is the point of the game? Meet Your Maker is like if Minecraft met first-person shooter. Sorta. It's got a lot of its own unique gaming elements that you don't really see with a lot of other games these days. So, here's the basics. The whole game is set in a post-apocalyptic world where humans corrupted their genetic material somehow. I'm not sure, I wasn't paying too much attention. But the whole goal is you need to get uncorrupted genetic material, or GenMat for short, so that you can give it to this squirrely looking dude to save humanity, I guess. Oh well. Anyways, let's move on to how the game plays out. Step 1, you select an outpost. They have 3 different difficulty settings: normal, dangerous, and brutal. Pick whichever one you fancy. Either way, the goal is the same. Load up the outpost, spawn in, grab this weird red stuff, which is the GenMat, and then get out. That's all there is to it. That's the simple version. Here's where it gets complicated. Each map is going to be littered with like traps and guards, and their whole purpose is to kill you. You one-shot them, they one-shot you, unless they have upgrades and stuff on them. But if you die, the whole map resets. So the goal is just to learn from your deaths over and over, or hopefully one-bang the map without ever dying. Now, you have a few things at your disposal to help you get through each map without dying. First off, there's 2 suits, the Ironside, which is specialized for range combat, and the Kamitachi, which you can use GenMat to buy. Each suit has upgrades that, again, you can use GenMat to buy, and it'll make the suit better overall, make your life a little bit easier. And if you get the Mastery perk on a suit, you can switch it between the suits, so it gives a lot of like freedom to how you want to play the game. Pretty cool. You also get access to gadgets. There's this gadget lady over here, she's pretty cool. She'll sell you nades, a flash barrier, Phoenix pad, spike drive. Personally, I only go for the nades because they only cost blue, and red is super important. Of all the GenMat materials, you end up using the most of it. The last thing that you have access to is your weaponry. You start off with the Volt Lancer and the Fury's Edge. Again, you can use GenMat to upgrade these and make them better, or you can use GenMat to buy other weaponry that you want to try out. You can use 2 of anything. You can use 2 of the range guns, 2 melees. You can use a defensive and a ranged, a defensive and a melee. So you can really customize how you want to play the game. If you want to slowly, methodically go through maps, checking all the corners for traps and whatnot, go for it. If you want to just say fuck all that and send it, you can send it. Now, the final component of this game, and the true beauty of it, is that every single outpost that you play on is player-made. Sure, there's a few things outside of the player's control on each map, but it's all player-made, which makes it super fun and super addicting to try to discover if you can one-shot everyone else's maps, kind of like slow little disrespect on them. Likewise, you can make your own little killing machines here that are damn near impossible to get out of without dying. That's the beauty of it. You play how you want. You create these little fucked up contraptions of whatever your mind can come up with, and it's addicting. I've literally been thinking about this game nonstop. I can't stop playing it. It's so good. Let's say you want to build a map. Is it difficult? No, not at all. If you've played Minecraft, which I know everyone and their mother has, you can build a map. It's not difficult. There's 3 different sizes of maps. There's small, medium, and large. Whenever you go to buy a map, it spawns in the GenMat pickup location, randomly generated. It spawns in a T-block, which if you don't know what a T-block is, enjoy this. Now, the whole point of the T-block is that if players find it on your map and blow it up, they get extra materials out of it. So if you wanted to like put traps around it, because you know players are going to go for it, you can like work it into the map. But my fucking god, dude. That noise is like seared into my brain. I don't know if it's brainwashing me to play the game. It fucking might be. All I know is if you're building a map, do yourself the favor. Turn off the sound effects or something while you're doing it. Turn them back on when you go raiding. Same thing with guards. If you're building or working near a guard, enjoy this the whole time. You like that, don't you? And it gets even worse if you have multiple guards, which you probably will, because you're trying to make a death machine. Anyways, I got sidetracked. Whole point, building's great, the game's great. Let me give you a little insight on how traps and stuff work, because it's really well thought out. Same as before, you start off with a minimal amount of traps and a minimal amount of guards. I believe there's 9 traps in total. And the devs have said that they have a roadmap for this game, so they plan to be updating it. So there'll be plenty of more content to come, maybe new traps, new suits, new guards, new weapons. Definitely a lot that they can add to this game, and it's very simple. It's a very small game. I believe it's like only 6 gigabytes or something. So it's not a big game, but there's a lot to do in it. And now, each of the traps that you get, you can buy more traps using gen map materials. You can buy upgrades for those traps using gen map materials. Same with guards. You can upgrade those, buy more guards. There's 4 guards total. You can change how they play, what they do. There's a lot of different things you can do. I'm not going to get into all of it, because there is quite a bit. This video would be like an hour long if I explained every little detail, but I think it's fun discovering them. Now, if you are thinking that, well, after everyone has played the game for a while, and they have all the upgrades, and they have all the materials, won't it just be like a clusterfuck, because everyone's base will be like top-notch? Sure, but the devs thought about that. So, hypothetically speaking, let's say I had all the traps unlocked and all the upgrades unlocked. Can I just slam down the most juiced up traps ever? No, you cannot. Because each trap is restricted to 2 mods per trap. So even though you have all the mods unlocked, you can only put 2 on there, which restricts you, but it forces you to be creative and sort of give the player a chance to survive all the BS that you have set up for them. Now right here, I wanted to fit that last mod on this trap, but my capacity at the top right, I'm at 1,371. So I need to go remove 1 single block from a place I can find that won't mess with the structure of my map, so I can fit the second wave perk on it. Now second wave is probably the most important mod for all the traps. It makes it so that after they run all the way into your base and pick up the gen map material, they get activated afterwards with a small timer for their activation, which kind of makes it so you can have it deadly on the way in, deadly on the way out. Last thing I want to touch on map-wise without going into too much complication is prestiging. When you buy a map, you make it, you think you got it ready to go, you can set it to active. A map can only be active for a certain amount of time. I think it's like it varies per map. But I have 2 maps here that say depleted, so they have ran their course. So is your map dead? Can you use it anymore? Of course you can. Your map needed to gain a certain amount of XP and kills on it for you to prestige it. Each map can be prestiged, I honestly have no idea how many times, but whenever you do that, A, you get more capacity to work with to make it even more deadly, and B, you get more gem map materials from that map when people die on it. So it's sort of like this hyperbolic time chamber of seeing what works, what doesn't work, making changes, prestiging, making it even more deadlier, until you've built like the ultimate death machine. It's great. Okay. Now that we got all that stuff out the way, there's one last feature that I want to talk about. The cherry on top of the cake. The creme de la creme. The blanc de bleu, son. They put replays in this bitch. And it is the most entertaining thing to make a base and then watch someone go through it and not having any idea what's in store for them. This is probably one of the funnest parts of the game, is just watching people get fucked up by your base. I thoroughly enjoy it. All you do, you pop open this screen, it pops up every single person that's played that map, shows you how long they spent in there, how many deaths they had, what time they started your map at, shows you the player's name, so you really get, to experience what they experienced going through your map. Now the replay system is nice, in that if someone survives your base with 0 deaths, you can go check it out and see how they survived all the bullshit you put in there, and then you can make it better. But the replay system, it definitely could use some updating. For starters, you cannot rewind at all, and you cannot skip around to certain points, because some players will get into your map, and they will spend like 5 minutes sitting there and doing nothing. And you just have to sit through that footage at 2x speed. That's the most you can do, is you can speed it up twice as fast, and that's it. Otherwise, you got to sit there and watch. So a rewind button and being able to skip to different points of the replay in the future would be very welcome. It'd be a very wise choice. But besides that, that's basically all I got to say about the game for now. There's obviously a lot I left out of this video that I could have put in it, but I think discovering more of the game by yourself is fun. And maybe you have some friends you can do it with. There is a multiplayer function in here, and it's pretty alright. Connecting to a multiplayer is kind of questionable, but it works great. Everything in this game works great. So if you're interested in this and you want to try it out, by all means, you definitely should give it a try. Because I've thoroughly been enjoying it, and I hope that you've been enjoying this video as well. Besides that, that's all I got to say for now. Thanks for watching. See ya.